Hello everyone. I started this project a long time ago and I intend to finish it, so here I am to continue the series, but this time I'll be covering an entire 100 chapters at once. That's right, so let's get all the way to chapter 500 of the series and I'll be showing you all the not so good feats I have in store. So yeah, this video is going to highlight the same problem many of my other videos have with Naruto. And we don't have pain to save us this time. Talking bad durability. So, starting off, Sasuke will now be going to the 5 Kage summit to get some of that sweet revenge, and we see Zetsu telling Sasuke that he may be weaker than Naruto. And it's here already. I want to point out durability like my last video of Pain attacking Konoha. Naruto the series showcases just very bad durability. Go back and watch my video on it if you haven't seen it already, as every bit of this is in order. I'm going straight in chronological order. Alright, and all of this is important to actually keep everything in mind when we're going to scale a series properly. So, we do all this and we get to Naruto getting unironically, and I don't mean in a comic relief way at all, completely beat up by basic punches. And I mean 100% basic punches. The dude is spitting up blood, he swells, he's covered in an entire 8 separate consistent panels of getting whipped by basic punches. I'm aware he's in base and not defending himself, but like, could you imagine a Kinney or a Zoro or even Baki, like closer to actual human levels? Or many if not most, just other characters being able to outright no-sell attacks of this level? I understand you can claim she's just that strong, so this level is, no, she's actually like country level punches over here, I'm sure, yeah. But it sure as hell hasn't and won't be shown, okay? Nothing actually scales her punches that strong. These are punches that are, nothing has her scaling close to even Sakura levels. This is not, Biju Bomb level stuff. This is bad, okay? But regardless, let's dive into the 5 Kage summit. Alright, so we're looking for feats. The first we'll jump to is Sasuke deflecting the chakra blades of multiple samurai. What's important about this is 2 things. First is the not proven portion. These chakra blades are said to be light speed, and even if meant to only apply to Mifune, still have absolutely 0 feats or scaling to suggest it. Now this is important, as we'll find people unironically say that this feat puts Sasuke at sub-relativistic speeds, ignoring then that literally just prior, a large threat in Kirin versus Itachi was specifically its speed against Itachi, which even under their flawed reasoning would be nowhere close to light speed. So just keep that in mind. So that's the non-proven portion. The actual evidence in this feat that actually helps in Sasuke's, feat here is comparing his size to the pillar behind him. We'll need that later for Jugo's feat. One last thing I will say at least is that we also need to note that Sasuke's guaranteed minimum of Mach 6 movement speed that was last calced in his fight against Itachi, good, go watch that now if you haven't, was in utilizing his full curse Mark II, which he has now lost. However, we do get a hint of growing power from Kage, so keep that in mind. This will later be far more established, but for now, let's look at Sasuke actually attacking A. We can see his starting position is relatively close, and he runs at them and both easily react to Sasuke, and in fact Harui himself knocks Sasuke away with his own jutsu. And it's here. If Sasuke, as he's growing, has found a way to overcome the loss of curse mark power and is in fact around, maybe even more, we don't know, relative to the speed he was at max power, with his curse mark, then this would make for a good baseline to go by. Mach 6. Though, he could certainly be slower now than he was at full curse mark power, like the actual power of that. We don't know. But it's here where we move into the first real feats. A blitzes. Well, soft blitzes. Stage 2 Jugo. Now I say soft blitz because we see that Sugetsu could call out his problematic speed before he even hit Jugo, and that Jugo himself, unsuccessful in tanking the actual attack, was successful in at least putting up a defense. He actually got his arms up. These people are not speed freaks. They're slower than base Sasuke. They're slower than Sasuke before he's been growing in power. Anyways, so add in this, and this suggests a somewhat relative speed that is even hinted at here in the bottom left. I'm impressed those three can even keep up. Honestly speaking, while Ace surely isn't going all out, this is pretty sad that not Sasuke but Jugo and Suigetsu are keeping up with the top tier of the verse in speed. Top tier, not god tier or anything later, especially for where we are right now. Boy is a god tier in the verse for where we are currently. So it's just weird. But it's here we can now cover Jugo's Chakra Blast. This is where an understanding of the pillar sizes come back into play. See, this feat is actually terrible. I'm sorry, but it is. It's a terrible feat. It's weak. Let's look at it in detail. So we can see that he melts, but for this, we'll highlight it more and say vaporization. Yeah? Alright, you with me? And yes, we should all be fully aware of the extreme lack of vapor for this vaporization. Okay? First, how large is a pillar? Well, I'll even use a panel with higher results than what would not only be the actual minimum, but the more accurately represented panel for its superior angle and closeness to us, the readers. So, even using this panel, this pillar comes to 417 centimeters wide, meaning in this panel here, I find that the total volume of the pillar comes to around 488.5 cubic meters, not centimeters. But we're not done. Next we need to find the volume of the sphere, because he does a huge dome of aura, chakra, whatever. And we'll say it would have 100% vaporized every bit of stone that it would have come in contact with. Like, I'm treating like the entire dome is stone being vaporized. So, yep, that'll be an additional 876 cubic meters of vaporization. And so, the moment we've been waiting for, combine it all together. Pretend it's actually vaporization, and we get this many total joules. Or, we're just talking town level total joules. Just town level. This is extremely weak. But wait, this calc didn't actually capture all the destruction. You're not actually factoring in the destruction it did. Look, we see in the final showing of destruction that more than one pillar was destroyed. Well, if you missed what I said prior with like the dome, the feat is so garbage, I actually took the full volume of his chakra blast and the sphere. I treated the entirety of his attack's volume, the whole blast and the sphere, treated all of it as vaporization. Yeah, I've highballed this feat magnitudes above what it actually has shown. This calc is exponentially too high. Town level. Let that sink in. And this doesn't even address the AP. This is just the total joules. The problem with this is that people really sometimes misunderstand the size of these pillars, and I'll show that. But yeah, this isn't even the AP, just the total joules. The actual AP, being as the AoE is so large, it'd be at least as a feat less than vaporization itself, and thus its AP is sub 25,700 joules per cubic centimeter, and that's for its AP. And so, let me show you some of the calcs out there, because, whoa, my number's way too low, right? Look at this. You see it? Using this panel here, it's no wonder they were able to get the pillars to be over an entire magnitude larger in size. You look at more reasonable calcs, and you'll see their total joules end up nearly 9 times lower than my result. Given they weren't inflating it as a total vaporization of everything, all within the AoE of the attack's entirety. But that first one, look at this first calc here. Look at the terrible, did you go out of your way to find an awful, angle to work from? Just to, I guess, wank the feet. I don't know. But this is where you'll find, crazy numbers. Back to the actual calc that makes sense. It's 9 times lower than mine. Alright? garbage feat. But let's continue so we can try and find some actual good feats, right? Next we have multiple feats nearly together. Alright, first, Sasuke attacks A from behind with his sword. It literally bounces off. That's our first real tanking durability feat in a long time. Though, is due entirely to his chakra aura and not his natural body durability. AKA, it's ability based. This is not his base durability. Next, Sasuke's Chidori, which has no scaling to put it higher than even large building AP at this time, slightly injures the same A, as we can see the mark left on his chest. Multiple times. And lastly, we have Liger Bomb. A non-basic attack. A special, you may say. Certainly something in the real world would cause far more damage and have far more force when compared to, say, a punch or a kick. And this Liger Bomb slamming the mass of not just Sasuke, but his Susanoo ribs as well. Well, this feat manages to crater, not vaporize, crater only this much. This here is massively below even B's earlier attack, which only yielded very low in building level AP. The boy's trying to kill Sasuke. He's not like holding back in the sense like he's not trying to kill him. We know he's holding back in that he can go higher levels of energy, but like he's actively trying to murder him. What, with these attacks? Well, I guess it may have, because he needed Susanoo ribs after all for this low in building level AP showing. We're talking about, again, massively less potent than low in building level AP. Less potent than that, by a lot. The crater is extremely shallow, destroyed a very small section overall, and used the mass of an entire body plus those ribs. And the feat gets worse. Okay, it gets worse. We're now seeing Sasuke use his Susanoo, because again, he needed it for that very weak attack. But we see his Susanoo, and even it breaks a bit due to this weak force. You can see it breaking. This is giving his Susanoo ribs at their weakest form, to be fair, a mere durability of sub-building level durability. My god, like that's terrible. Okay, so what's next then? And just so you know, yes, the scaling can have these higher, but not like by insane degrees. Because these are all different abilities. You can't say that his Fireball Jutsu scales to his Kiden, for example. A bunch of different abilities have a bunch of different properties. And the Susanoo ribs so far are matching up to Liger Bomb that is significantly showing to be weaker than, again, B's attack. This is sub-level durability, sub-building level durability. It's terrible, alright? So what's next then? Alright, let's keep going. Well, we can note once more that Sasuke's Chidori injured A, as we also see later, the wound again is clearly there. But we can also see how A dodges Amaterasu, of which clearly travels. I don't know why people pretend it doesn't travel. It does. Now, that said, for some scaling, we do know, however, that A has at least been holding back that unknown amount. Yes, he's trying to murder him, but he is somewhat holding back. We can see here that he clearly powers up. And then here, that Karin supports the showing of him powering up with what levels his chakra has gone to, as in it wasn't before. So it's now on par with the chakra levels of those that even the weakest of the Akatsuki could go toe-to-toe with, except maybe Hidan save his hacks. But so yeah, A is now as strong as basic Biju. Well, if at least you do what I've been told by many others and pretend the amount of chakra you have is actually linked to how strong you as a character is. It would explain why Karin Uzumaki, with her vast chakra, is actually the most AP speed durability intensive character of Team Taka. No, okay, we can at least say that he is an unknown amount stronger and not some weird 1-to-1 ratio that somehow applies across the board though, like that now he's gotten 10 times stronger or anything weird. He has more chakra reserves. His chakra amount has expanded. Anyways, we also now see that having powered up, he can break through his Susanoo, which hasn't, again, shown anything impressive yet. But he does so with but a basic chop. Not basic as in he can't be in base himself, but in this level of lightning enhancement, a basic chop. So perhaps scaling to B's feat in AP now. Still kind of worse, but I'm trying to give some benefit of the doubt. That said, a bit more powerful than that chop, and it looked like Sasuke would have been two-shot. Luckily for him, Gaara saved his life basically. And my god, hold on, we might have something here. The speed that sand had to move to do that. Hold on. If A at this point is bare minimum above Mach 6, and the sand moved between them from a minimum distance from off the panel, we're talking about higher than Mach 25 speed for this, alright? And this is absolute minimum. I'm talking the smallest distance needed to travel off panel for the sand. This is finally something actually impressive. Despite chakra amount dictating your strength, and he's lost an entire Biju, apparently. But dang, no, for real? Not bad. Yeah, Gaara, way to go. So let's see if this is where the feats really begin to pick up in power. Next, we have, oh yeah, the Amaterasu failed to kill a basic person again. Hasn't even burned through the armor of a guy his basic sword, talking about Sasuke's sword, or definitely his Chidori, would go through with ease. In fact, A is only just now taking his arm off, and only because it can eventually spread, which, if it would spread, really has taken its time doing so, while not slowing down A at all. And you may say, hold on, he only just chopped his Susanoo and got Amaterasu on his hand. Nearly no time has passed, especially so if these people are moving at Mach 6 speeds. And to that I say, look, time is relative. Straight up, if you can move faster than light, 1 full second of a battle would involve millions of attacks. To an FTL fighter, 1 second would be an eternity for feats. So if, for example, it is only going to start actually showing burn signs, or just start to spread after say even 1 full second, while I'm not saying Naruto needs to be light speed right now or anything, the point is that even other attacks in Jutsu already out-threaten having Amaterasu on your arm. It's not that dangerous. And that's already, later in the series, the relativeness of time will be such that it would be considered slow to burn, spread, or eventually kill. It's just not shown to be a good move. Very low kill power. While other jutsus have way better kill power. But we have more scaling, as we'll see. Sasuke's power is still growing. Very important. So Karin is right. He is growing. So again, is he around that Mach 6 in base? Is he maybe he's just now getting there? I do like the Mach 6 as a baseline. Now we have something better than just ribs. Still less than what Itachi could pull in terms of level of Susanoo, but definite showing of growth. And let's please dissect this, because there's a huge elephant in the scaling room with this feat that I want to draw attention to. Did Sasuke just react to Laser Circus? The jutsu that is definitely light speed? Since, if stated and not contradicted, it follows it. It just has to be true, right? It has to be. No other options. I'll hit this quickly as I can. It shows match speed with all the other non-light based attacks that have no scaling or feats to suggest they scale to light speed either. Now, to be fair, they don't have to have matched here. We can't confirm it 100%. But how about this? Can't really get away from this one. So what is it? Light speed? Or perhaps it's actually just the speed of the non-light Rasen Shuriken? Or the speed of kunai from the no names behind them. Take note of that. Look at it. Look at the picture. Kunai in there, and there's no names behind them. Like, nobody's. But if this isn't enough, don't worry. This isn't the height of obviousness for light speed Laser Circus being wrong. Now look at this. Notice the jutsu called lightning style Flash Pillar. Notice how it's used alongside Laser Circus. We see a flash of light where Obito and Madara shield their eyes, followed by, what's that has not reached them yet? Yeah, that'd be the Laser Circus. But let me guess. The Pillar Flash is a lightning-based jutsu that is also faster than light, because it's a light flash, and faster than the definite light speed laser circus, which is still, it's gotta be light speed. It's just not super light speed like the Flash, right? Am I getting, that's probably what it is, right? Yeah. So back to Sasuke versus A. While he in now just no way whatsoever shows reaction speeds rivaling light speed, he does show his next stage of Susanoo, and that's all we're really getting out of it. No, we're not doing this light speed laser circus because there's a statement and I don't feel like actually having to put work into scaling things. So this all leads us to everyone needing to take cover because of, stone falling from a high ceiling, which really continues to support the low, unaugmented durability of the verse. I need Susanoo ribs, I need lightning enhancement, I need, I guess, something else, because most other people just don't allow attacks to actually hit them, or if it does, it completely maims them. So, quickly, I'll add that the Mizukage's Acid Mist is able to slowly melt the Susanoo, but only at the ribs level, as it's Sasuke's lack of chakra that lets him maintain the higher level Susanoo. Since we know chakra amount is akin to stamina, not power level. Additionally, we can see it actually injuring Sasuke as well. This would be a bare minimum I'd want to see from Amaterasu. Where's the burn marks? But here we are. And make no mistake, that same acid mist isn't even immediately melting the surrounding stone. It's a very slow melt for the basic stone walls that are also melting the Susanoo ribs. Is Susanoo ribs stone level? Oh, and we lastly have an Onoki unbacked statement of atomization. Unless you want to be brain dead and not have to think for yourself. Then it's definitely atomization and nothing could possibly be hyperbolic. Nice. No, wait, no, now we evaporated him. Look, I know I'm not using the full raw of everything. Regardless, the honest truth is he didn't even hit him, and we have literally nothing backing any kind of destruction level, so I guess we'll see in the future then. And from here, I think I'm going to be ending the video. This would be summing up the full totality of the 5 Kage Summit. So, I mean, did I leave anything important out? No. I mean, I covered every single aspect. I went over all the feats, and I'm really showing it in order. It's all important that this is concise and really highlights everything. And there's a reason why so many of the feats turn out to be weak. The only time that any of it could appear impressive is, again, if you wank out like the statements that have no backing and in fact have counter evidence against such, say, speeds like laser circus and such. So when you actually look to scale the series with, AAAP scaling and you're trying to be as accurate as possible, these are the results you're going to get. So, hey, next video, I'll be continuing after the 5 Kage Summit. Hope to see you guys there. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you guys are learning some maybe new things you didn't realize about the series. But there's a lot more to be coming, so I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.